I remember every detail as if it was yesterday. This experience freaks me out even to this day, and knowing that it's all real brings tears to my eyes still. I'm 20 years old now, and I just found out the Hatman is real. When I was around 12 years old, my home environment wasn't the best. It was violent and I was emotionally abused on the daily. My parents were dealing with financial problems. My mom was going through early set menopause, and my dad was so stressed that he was drinking every night. Me and my siblings were never physically abused to the point to where you could call it a physical abuse. But our mom would have violent outbursts and treat us like we weren't her children. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's the only way I can explain what these episodes were. My mom was mainly emotionally and verbally abusive, and my dad was only around long enough to punch holes in the walls and yell. Anyways, let's just say that my parents are the one who created me and brought me into this world, but they have never felt like my mom and dad. I didn't have any answers for years because when I was 12, it was the early 2000s and computers and internet were fairly new and my family still only had a dial-up. I saw the Hatman in a dream. I woke up in my bedroom. My door was open and the hall light was on. I got out of bed and walked into the hallway. I turned the corner and walked down a bit. When I got to the middle of the hallway, that's when I saw him. He was a tall black figure, probably around 6'2" or 6'5". He wore a top hat and had a long coat. As soon as I saw him, my heart dropped to my stomach and I got an instant sense of dread. I rushed down the rest of the hallway and pushed my way past him. As I approached my parents' door, I noticed a dark liquid coming out from under, and I quickly realized that it was blood. I swung their door open and I saw them, or what was them. They were ripped to shreds and their blood was all over the room. All of a sudden, my view of the room changed and I was seeing the scene from top right corner of the room. I could see my body standing in the doorway, the Hatman behind me, their mangled bodies on the bed, and at the foot of the bed, a creature. This thing was a demon, creature that had long claws coming from its fingers, and it was covered in their blood. It turned its head to look at my body standing in the doorway. Then I woke up. I woke up in a cold sweat. My black lab was watching my door with concern, and I was terrified. I slowly got out of bed and walked into my hallway. My dog walked beside me, and I kept my eyes on the floor. When I got halfway down the hallway, I finally looked up, but the Hatman wasn't there. I kept walking, and when I reached their door, I looked at the floor, looking for the blood. There was none. I opened their door, and even though it was dark, I swear to this day, I saw a shadow figure about the size of the demon move and disappear out of the corner of my eye. My heart stopped beating, and I quickly turned their light on. I looked around their room and it was normal, no blood, and my parents were groggily awakened from the sudden light. My mom asked me what I was doing. Being 12 years old, I was a little embarrassed by having to ask to sleep with them because of a dream. But I was so terrified that I asked. My mom told me what I already knew. I was too old to be sleeping in my parents' bed because of a dream. Still, she saw how scared I was and she agreed to let me stay with them for the night. Nothing else happened, and I slept fine for the rest of the night. It took me months to tell someone, but I finally told my sister. My brother is 5 years younger than me, so I never told him, but one night my brother awoke me because he had a nightmare. He said he saw a tall man with a top hat standing in his doorway. He was just as scared as me, but his dream wasn't as near as gruesome as mine. I didn't tell my parents about the dream until a year ago, even though I've never been able to shake it. Ever since that night, I've had a constant feeling of being watched, and even when no other person is with me, I don't feel alone. I'm still confused and looking for answers. I don't know if it makes me feel better or worse to know that other people have seen this headman. I still don't know what the demon creature was, and I haven't seen it since.